Team Baramis, are we ready to share ancient wisdom secrets with our friends out there?
Ready
Of
as
course,
always,
as ready as
Alex.
always.
Are you sure you're ready?
Yes, Ernst.
Good day to all our friends, Baramis Tower of Light, out there watching this program. Introduction first, on my right hand side is Nikita. There is Jeliska. On my left hand side is Kabous or Kobus. I'm Ernst Jordan, and we together represent Baramis Tower of Light. Now, yeah, our website's name is also Baramis Tower of Light. If you want to know us better, as well as the spiritual work we all do.
In this program, which is program R, we discuss and give away ancient wisdom secrets on two-way communication between a human as a consciousness giving life form and his or her creator Hefkenam, or with the Most High, Torata, JAWE, GORIA.
If you haven't watched the previous programs in the series, please catch up. Otherwise, you will not understand titles, places, rituals, or terms and places.
Please help us to help other people in need of this wisdom knowledge and ancient wisdom secrets by pressing the like, share and subscribe buttons, as well as the little bell icon to be in line for more ancient wisdom secrets.
Most religious people are used to one-way communication with the creator Hefkenam and or with the Most High, Torata, JAWE, GORIA, of which you can read about in your Christian 17th century King James Bible in Psalm 91. According to the Christian Bible, he is the Most High in rank and power of all gods. He is not the Father of the Trinity in which most Christians believe. Ernst, why is it necessary to practice two-way communication between us and our gods, and where did it start?
Nikita, before I answer you and our friends out there, what do you know of Psalm 91?
His wings.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a promise to us that we who search our shelters under the wings of the Most High will abide with the Almighty. This is so beautiful. If you go and read that psalm, it's one of the most beautiful. It's my favorite psalm. And you know what? Every time I feel, well, I cannot know when last did I feel not well, but if there's something wrong, go and read that Psalm 91 and make it part of your life. You will never be, you will never regret
it.
According to the, first, I would like to give away ancient wisdom secrets.
Awesome.
Here we go. On the beginning of the first humanity on earth. Now, people especially Christians all over the globe, are being mind controlled to believe what? That the earth is between 6,000 and 8,000 years old, or let's say the earth is 20,000 years old. You know, like some Egyptians would say the Pyramid of Giza is, let's say, 18,000 years old, something like that. That is not true, my friends. The earth was finished in its creation round about 240 billion years ago, during which mostly the creators, the Most High, the Hefkenams, etc., lived here on earth. It is for the last 201,365,130 years, more or less, ago that the first humanity was settled on earth. And it works like as follows. When the Most High and his supreme super all creator Hefkenams created the first consolatici, people or humanity here on earth, what happened? You were there with them all the way. All the gods were here. Everybody that were here were for 2,000 years directly in contact with humanities they created. But what do we know of what happens after 2,000 years?
The gods go back to
Yes,
Yes.
their dimensions.
Yes, they go back to their own dimension. Why? Can you remember? Because after 2,000 years, there's another 24,000 years that have to complete, and then they will come again. Because why? The earth is being reconstructed every 26,000 years. And that is why the first time when the Hefkenams and the Most High retreated to go back to their planets of origin, they gave spiritual meditation to their created humanities as a means of making contact to them. Two-way contact. Remember that. And every 26,000 years, they will come 2,000 years before. They are already here on Earth, and in human bodies, among others. And then within about at the end of the Aquarian age, it will be another 26,000 year transformation or recreation of the earth as such. And then they will be here, because during each clean-up process they take away a lot of the humanities, and they keep only like Noah of the Bible or somebody very special to carry on a specific seed line or to start a goedgekeurde what God said is correct, approved. They will, thanks. So yes, and then who, in the meantime, in the 24,000 years, how are people going to make contact to a God that is in another dimension, very far from here in the constellation of Rhythmos? How are you going to communicate with him? Are you going to try and imagine yourself and live in a fool's paradise? Okay. Let's believe everything and we just carry on. No, you must make sure. But that is where this comes from, this two-way communication. One-way communication, it doesn't work at all. I mean, if you make an experiment of it and you leave me and you go and stay where I can never ever see you again. Now I must, you know, it's actually worse, because I know you, but when I was a Christian, I didn't know what God looked like, the Most High or whatever. And today I know. So what is correct about it? Praying one way and you cannot even hear. Maybe they are sitting here, this is your answer, but you cannot hear them. As we said in the last program, you know, where was God when this and this happened? We should learn to communicate two ways, and this is what this program is all about. Now, friends out there, each person has, or each person as a consciousness giving life form has a choice when it comes to religions. Nobody forces you to be a part of a specific religion. In your heart there will be something attracting you, whether it's Satan himself or the Most High or any other true religion or bad religion. Something will always attract the same kind. It doesn't matter what you are or what your religion is. You have a choice. Always remember that you cannot really, you know, afterwards said, yeah, but I was raised up to be a Christian. Then you are a mind-controlled super zombie, you know, a little puppet on a string, everything that other people say, you dance according to the music. This is not what the true Lightside deities and the kingdoms is all about. They doesn't want people like that there. Always remember that all of us as humans grow through different belief systems. That is, if you are serious about your whereabouts after this life. You know, in the school of learning. I mean, if you're not serious, why will it bother you? Then you can be just the same as all the, or the average persons, you know, among Christianity, when they are old and they are now starting to realize I'm facing the end of my time. I think it's now time to start looking for a God and make right what I did wrong. No, my friend, it's too late then. Then if you are to become, let's say, 80 years of age, and since you were a child you didn't bother, now you are 5 years away from death, or soul what do you call it, soul? Transfer. Now you want to start looking for a God. You're wasting your time, my friend. For 70 years you did nothing. Now all of a sudden the few overworked brain that doesn't work as good as he did 60 years ago, now you want to offer that to the Most High. You're in for a big surprise. You're living in a fool's paradise if you think of that. Otherwise you go with the flow and be your own God in your own life here on earth. Where you do what you decide to do. And this is a fact. If you are at the steering wheel of your own life, I will decide this, I will decide that, I will do this, I will marry this one, I will divorce that one, I will go overseas whenever it suits me. Then you are your own God. So don't look for a God. A God is there to lead you, not to be your servant wherever you go, that he must see that your wishes come true. It doesn't work that way. If you think it works that way, Sat, you are going to hear a different story in reality. If you prefer this kind of one-way communication with a God, in brackets, you cannot see or know what or that he is there. Please make your own decisions throughout your life, but please do not moan and groan, about all the problems arising from this non-logic choice of yours. And before I go on, let's discuss it. I mean, what did we just hear? What did we just said here? One-way communication. If you want to be at the steering wheel of your own life, now I decide I'm going to marry Kobus. And after 2 years, I see, oh, it's not going to work. There's two. Now, where was God when I chose him? He was there telling you yes or no. This is as easy as it goes. But why do you want a God? Only to go against him when he doesn't do what you tell him to do or not to do? Are you the God and he's the servant? It's a fool's paradise, my friend. No God, no real God. Only Satan will be fooled around, like Christians do, by giving him orders on a daily basis what to do and what not to do. The earth as a planet. And what is the name of the planet? Lonakusa is a school of learning for all of us. To learn so that we as consciousness giving life forms can end up fully enlightened in our different directions of spiritual growth. I was also born into Christianity. I also went from one church to another kind of Christian church to the next one. I mean, I started at the Nether Dutch Reformed Church here in South Africa, where I was baptized as a baby. After that, I went to the Roman Catholic Church, where the beginning of churches are. Read through their history, thousands and thousands of pages, the papacy, and then I thought to myself, listen, I don't want to be part of this satanic murder nest, because that is all Christianity can do. Murder people who doesn't want to follow Satan. I mean, if the Pope tells you the God of the church is Satan, are you still going to believe, he doesn't know what he's talking about? That is usually what Christians think, because they know nothing what the Pope knows, but they want to interfere in his work. Find out what is the Christian church and then decide. And I went from one church to another. To when I did my doctoral thesis, I had to investigate, so it was very good. And, today I'm a Reverend Doctor Honorable myself, and I still do deity research. I think the only difference between you and myself is maybe that we may be on a different level or levels of psychic and spiritual growth and development. Who your God is doesn't matter. There are endless true Lightside gods, goddesses, Hefkenams, upwards on the endless hierarchical deity structure, as long as you are in service of a true Lightside deity. Remember that. I have endless respect for all creator deities, among others like Brahma or Brahmsa, Shiva, Allah, praise all their names, the name of our Creator Father, in whose service we are, among other people, is the Most High Torata JAWE GORIA. If you cannot communicate two ways with your deity God, what title you prefer, you can learn today to master it by following a few ancient wisdom secrets, which we are going to share with you. Just focus on what we are going to share with you, and you'll understand. Now, when I think of the titles God or Lord, a visible picture unfolds on the stage of my mind. A picture of who or what I personally can resemble to be the God or the Lord in whose service I am. A clear and very detailed picture. I mean, this is logic. You cannot pray to something that you don't have a clue what it looks like. You know, if I speak to Christians, what do they tell me? Have you ever met the Lord? Oh, yes. Or, oh, no, we cannot because he's too mighty. You know, other people will tell you, you cannot see him, he is everywhere, stuff like that. Come with a proof, my dear, come with a proof. There's only one proof. If you can get out of your body by means of astral projection or in tapping, where you can face the guides and the gods face to face. Listen, my name is so-and-so, what's your name? It's something like that. But in any case, Michelangelo, as a reincarnated Hefkenam from dimension 160, in other words, from heaven in height 160, painted what the Catholic Church wanted him to paint on the walls and ceilings of their temples and churches in the Vatican, in Rome, and elsewhere as well. As long as the picture on the stage of your mind is clear and full of true detail. Listen again, true detail, not what you dream your God to be or what you heard other people told you. What did you see? What did you experience? Are you one of those who say nothing because when I pray it seems as if the prayer goes to the ceiling and it never gets out there? It will be like that if you don't know who you are talking about. I mean, anybody out there can listen. The dark side, Satan himself, can listen to your prayers, and yes. But as long as the picture on the stage of your mind is true and based on facts that you, not the dominee or the pastor or the father, you saw or experienced. That is true, genuine logic. Yes, the human mind, this is very important. The human mind, will you do me a favor and just tell them about the human mind? Oh, just that one paragraph.
Yes, the human mind can only stage a picture of God or a Lord, for instance, gathered from the knowledge of your God or Lord, rooted in the memory of your own mind. The more you know about the God or Lord you worship, the bigger and more visible the stage of your mind will become. The more you fill in the gaps of the emptiness, the more clear to remember the stage in your mind's memory will become. Imagine the stage of your mind to be in a computer, to be a computer screen. Recall what you can see of your God, What does your God look like, and what is his personality and characteristics measured against the contents of the cosmic laws?
Thank you, Nikita. Now, before I go on, I just ask you to read that following, because I wanted to see for myself, if I listen to your words, what happens up here. And it is correct. So thank you for reading that so that I can, or could focus. It works that way. Does it make any sense to you? Can any one of you three repeat what I just said and visualize the picture of what I said on the stage of your mind? You had a chance. I'm going to start with the other two. Gather a picture and tell me the details of your picture. Let's start with Kabos. What do you see in your mind's eye?
In my mind's eye, if I think about my God, the true Hefkenam, it's like a white light that you can feel the loveness, the feeling of true happiness, and actually you can feel the power of.
There's a good example. I know he knows a lot more, but we discussed it in advance and he must just give you a start off. What do you see as a start off point, Iliska?
In my mind, I see him as the most pure energy, form of energy. So you can see him in quite everything, because he made everything that's light, for instance, and dark as well, because they turn dark, but the light, I see him in everything, and because he created it. So the most pure form of energy and love and acceptance.
Thank you, Iliska. Now I would like, before Nikita carries on, this is what we see as a starting point to imagine or to see the real qualities of the gods of the light side and the gods of the dark side, because you have to make a choice. If you live on earth as we are living here in this country, South Africa, you are living in a dark side world, my friend. Then you will have to decide, withdraw, do nobody harm, but keep on with your praise to the Most High and your research. But if we ask Christians out there, what will their picture be? A Trinity God. It's a little bit, it's not easy to start forming a picture of what you heard the church reminds you of what your God is supposed to be. But let me give you another ancient wisdom secret. If you take the cosmic laws, which you can download from the internet right now, if you go on our website, Barama's Tower of Light, under a certain section, more info, you can get it. If you read it and you start thinking of what actions should be done, what will be the response if you implement all the light side actions in the cosmic laws?
Everything will be in harmony and in place.
Everything will be in harmony. So if you know what it is to be 100% in harmony, to never experience even a problem, to be in full, you can feel everything is 100% light side. Then, if you know all that and how the cosmic laws work, then you can start compiling a picture of a person, because your Bible and my Bible tells us that the Creator, Hefkenams Super, they created, as they said, let us, plural, create people according to our likeness and to do what we do. So if you are pink, your Creator God will be in a, let's say, in a series between, let's say, light and super light. I mean, it's obvious, but if you see dark side, what will you see? Why do they call it dark side? Because there's nothing that is from the light side there. No harmony, no balance, nothing. everything moving to a complete, what? Downfall
Downfall.
and,
Disaster.
yes.
So if I can also state how I see, well, with the uttermost respect for the Most High, that is how I see with respect towards Him, as I'm still on a very long spiritual journey, in learning every day and collecting knowledge as I rightfully deserve, and being on the stage I am in now. My respect will be not to look at Him in His eyes, the windows to the soul, as I do have too much respect towards Him, unless it is in His will to let me do so. How I see the Most High, if I may at the moment, or rather explain in feeling, when I'm in a two-way communication with Him. As the feeling that I get is sacred, holy, pure, gracious, marvelous, remarkable, with the love. The emotion I feel in being in two-way communication with Him is overwhelmingly great. I see Him in everything as He gives all life. I can see Him in the elements of earth, fire, water, air, and spirit. He is everywhere. I live through Him. That gives me life. The feeling is as overwhelming as I'm in awe for Him, and it's the most extraordinary feeling of wholeness. As I'm privileged to see what He creates here on Launakuza, this earth we call the learning school, and all the other endless universes together with His hierarchical structure and His Lightside deities in place on all dimensions, visible and invisible. He is perfect in all His ways, in all He creates. Look at the most beautiful flowers, not that there are any ugly ones, but let's refer to the flower called the aster flower. Go and have a look and see how extraordinary, remarkably perfect it is, as it is also the Most High, Torata JAWE GORIA's favorite flower. I mean, He's the Most High, Torata JAWE GORIA, praise His name. He is remarkable, and this is how I see Him.
Yo, Nikita,
Yo.
that was a real mouthful.
Yes, it was.
Or will I call it a brainful? Really, this is
Just in
the
short.
most beautiful description you compiled of how you see the Most High. You know, it feels as if somebody is pressing you to bring the tears to your eyes.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
because
very
it's so
much more.
pure, the way you said it. And even in your voice, I could hear the pureness of your intentions. And this is exactly, I wish all of you can give yeah, the tears comes again.
Just before we go on, if you tap in and you get in that focus of your Most High, your God, you can actually smell Him. And if you're thinking about the Torata JAWE GORIA, praise His name, you're getting the breeze of the smell of fresh air.
Why does he say that? Because we know a lot that you don't know up to here. We will share it with you in the days to come. But there are stuff, like we ask, what is your favorite flower? It's the aster. What is your favorite smell? The smell of fresh air. What is your favorite whatever? We know the answers, you know, and it is so. This is why if you are in a place where you smell all of a sudden the most freshest air that you,
Revitalizing.
yeah, then you know He, by means of one of your angels or guides, will be there. There's an ancient wisdom secret for you out there, which you can share with as many people as you can. Have a wide and broad picture of the God or Lord you worship in your mind. That is, if you want to grow spiritually. Stage the picture of your God based on true facts, not myths, dogmas, or beliefs rooted in the dustbins of fool's paradise. If you cannot stage a picture right now, don't worry about it. You can meditate on it later after this program is finished. Then you can learn how to stage your mind. But please just listen. Don't even think, no, I cannot do it. So just listen. It's very easy. Next, I would like to ask you to stage a picture in your mind compiled on logic, meaningful facts of the true what? Kingdoms of the heavens or dimensions as you know it. Stage it in your minds. In other words, if I ask you, what do you see as heaven? I can promise you most Christians will say, well, when you depart from your body, finally you will go through a tunnel of light and you will end up in a place they call heaven. Now come, tell me what is your heaven looks like. So then compare it with the cosmic laws. No, my friend, you know that song, will the circle be complete when I come there, doesn't exist. I can promise you not to. You know, even Jesus or Jeshua Radolpa told you, out of two brothers, the one will grow, the other one will stay. Why? Because it all depends on what's giving consciousness to the body, not the body self. You can be, well, you cannot be, but let's say we were brothers, brothers in flesh. A very strange or a different consciousness giving life form can give consciousness to my body, and another one can give to him. So we are not the same. We are not brothers in flesh here, but definitely not in spirit. In me and his case, we are not brothers in flesh, we are brothers in spirit. If you know what I mean. Yeah, next I would like to, let's go on stage that picture in your mind. Remember that you already, sorry for this one, that you know already. Stage it as you spiritually meditate on it, like explained in course number 1 in the Brahma's writings, which is also for grabs. The needed cast and background will come to you to fill the stage in your mind. Please stay to true reality, to be sure it's true and not a fool's paradise full of what you heard from your Christian preachers or other beloved family members or whatever. Stage what you see in your life. Yep. Ilaska, will you please share the staged picture in your mind on what the kingdoms of heaven, but before you begin, or the dimensions look like in your mind. After you, Nikita and Kabos can follow if they feel like it, or if you feel like it. So what can we discuss on this one?
As above,
What do
so
you
below.
see as, or let's start with you. You see a place you call heaven, and the second place you call hell. In other words, everybody on earth either go to heaven or hell. Doesn't work that way, my friend. We discussed in the first thing we gave to you, we share knowledge that you can go and measure. A human body, the hertz vibration is, let's say, 108.108. An angelical being outside a human body will, what will be the hertz? More or less 160 average. So there's big differences. You will just have to learn. You know, there's not one place. Even the Bible says the heavens. I know of a person, St. Paul said it, who have been taken up into the 14th heaven. It's actually a 14th dimension, because heaven is not a place, it is space. Remember that one. Heaven doesn't mean a place where you go, it means a space in the never-ending universes full of different different vibrating dimensions. So Liska, tell us, what do you see on the stage of your mind when I speak of dimensions?
As we know, as above, so below. So the higher you go up, the technology and the codes of conduct will be at a much higher level, and downwards the same You understand?
And
So
what she said now is so important. Never forget it. You know why? Because if you want to go to a place called heaven, doesn't matter what you believe in it, you better be prepared to act like the people in heaven. Otherwise, you're like trash. You don't belong there. Then you are like wheat in a flower garden. You don't belong there. But we come to that one. In truth, thank you, Aliska. The true reality of all this is firstly to prove to yourself, not to other people, it is you that are here in the school of learning. So prove to yourself what you really believe in. If you form this two places as you know it, let's say the dimensions or heavens, and what does the God and your guides look like? What do you know about them? You know, don't worry if you don't know, you are going to learn this stuff, because they will tell you, if you can start doing two-way communication, how do you think we know what the smell of the Most High is, what he likes the most? Or my one guy, Isai, is very fond of the smell of little limes. You know, the green little fruit. And even on my altar here, sorry, I place it is so, this is Isai's most lovable smell. And this is why I put it there, because the little fruit is for him, to remind him that I am, I'm falling under him, and I think of him, and I look up to him, and I accept him to be the first master in my life to take me along. A lot of others came in, but and the little incense stick, is also for all the other guides, and the little flame you see there is for the Most High himself. So where will we get all this information? You will have to follow what we are trying to learn you, and then you will be there. So the true reality of all this is firstly to prove to yourself what you really believe in. It's a test for yourself. Do you believe in empty places full of empty spaces? A real fool's paradise that you cannot even, it's like an empty space and you haven't got the furniture to put in there that need to be there. So go and practice it. You will not form a picture if you doesn't study. And don't think it's hard work. You are here to study. It's a study course. It's not a working course. The true reality of everything must come first in your life. Secondly, it is a proof to yourself how spiritual, advanced you really are at this moment. So take it serious, my friend, but don't go and tell yourself, according to this people, I know nothing. We all were there. What we knew was Christianity, dogmas and myth and all that rubbish. What we know now, we studied to know it. And it is for our benefit. You will see later on why. Now that you compared your own deity knowledge as well as the knowledge on the true kingdoms of the heavens, which you believe in, with Iliska, Nikita, myself, and Kabosa's deity knowledge, you out there watching this program, you can practice after this program. If you spend time on it, it will come back to you. Listen to what I said. It will come back. Why do I say that? Because wherever you come from, you will remember. You are not the body of flesh sitting there. You are the consciousness-giving body, and wherever you come from will be recalled. That is a fact. So just start. Don't expect it to come back within 5 minutes or so. Maybe it takes a little bit longer, days, weeks. It took me weeks, but it came. It still comes through. If you spend time on it, it will come back to you. By the end of this program, in any case, all those people out there are going to have much more knowledge of the true kingdoms as they had when we started this program. Watch the series the series on Ancient Wisdom Secrets, as well as the 28 programs on deity research that you can get on our website. The oldest history of deities long before any mankind on earth, and you will know that or what I knew when I completed it or compiled it. I still learn by researching the deities to add the additional knowledge that I get and the wisdom that I get to what I already know.
Ernst, I think you should explain to our friends out there why visualizing what you hear. Why is it so important to be able to stage a picture on everything that you hear?
Very important question. Thank you, Nikita. And thanks for reminding me of speaking about this. We all, plus thousands of others out there, we all started with what? What did we all started? To stage, to learn to stage in our minds. Because what happened during the history? First we had radios where we didn't have televisions to see the picture. We had to form a picture up there. This is now gone. You know, television have or spoiled us. You know, it's not lekker anymore. But you should practice to stage everything you hear up here in your mind. If I say to you, "Hi Nikita, it's Aaron speaking," what will come up in your mind? My face, if you know me. Am I right?
Yes.
Then you will start hearing my voice. Am I smiling, or am I furious, or am I mad or possessed or what? This is how you learn to feel your guides. Like in the olden days with radio alone, when you listen to stuff like radio theater programs, you know, it's like a whole movie you can watch, except there's nothing to watch. You must whatever you want to see, you must put it in here. What you can, not what you want to see, what you see according to what the people says there. You know what dramas is all about. You can fill in, you know, what you like. You know what is the personality traits of let's say a very dominant person, or you know, something like that, or a preacher or whatever. After time spent on this matter, you will find it easy to know what people think when they look at you. And this is a fact. If you have to know, this is another fact. You will not see everything, but what is good for you to know. No Lightside God will, you know, give away personal traits of his other beloved children. But of course, if I need to know something, or you need to know something, he will provide the answer. You know, when you will start hearing voices, or no, then you will start hearing voices from the surrounding different vibrating dimensions. Voices of the different guides. You know, when you put you in the veld, now you've got a small little radio until you get a proper signal, and then you can listen. It works the same. You will hear voices and words that doesn't make sense. You must first learn to tune in. This, what I just heard now, is definitely, you know, it's, if you're not very fond of a specific, let's say, radio personality or a television personality, and you put on the just put it off. I'm not in the mood for this rubbish. You know, you can hear even the voice. This is dark side voices. I don't listen to rubbish, so let's get to another station. It's very easy to learn, and you will never be You will never fool yourself if you do the things right. But remember, shield yourself 2 or more times a day with the brightest light of the Most High, Torata, JAWE, GORIA. Know the contents of the most important cosmic or universal laws. You still remember the other name of cosmic law is a universal law. Know the contents of the most important universal laws, and you will be able to measure what you hear to decide if what you hear is true light side or maybe true dark side. I mean, if you are used to that your church says to you that the title God is a curse word. I mean, really? I mean, it's a title. How can a title be a curse word? You know what I mean? The church learn you such a bunch of rubbish. I mean, Lord. Is it now a sin if I say, oh my God? Of course it's not a sin. Because I'm calling upon the title God. And I said, my God. So it's actually in the Bible, in the 10 Commandments, you will read the following. Thou shalt not name the name of thy God in vain, something like that. Go and study it. It doesn't say you're not allowed to speak the titles Lord or God or Jesus. It's names and titles. It's nothing new. You know, so if you are still there, you have quite a lot to catch up to do.
Alex,
Yes.
can I maybe just add another way to practice
Yes.
the visualizing and to hear is to read, because if you read you form a picture as well as the sound of that person's voice
Yes.
in the moment that they said it. So you learn to hear in other dimensions what that person heard when they got through to write the
For
book.
sure, Iliska, I'm so glad you said it. You know, when we do communication, I'm the person who compiled the questions. The other person doesn't even know how it works, or what I ask, or what I compiled. And I ask the question, and the trance medium, and the other one will be the flowing lines through which every answer comes. You know, Joshua Redopa, thanks Iliska, this is very true. Joshua Redopa knew the cosmic laws. Who was Joshua Redopa? The true Jesus. Jesus was not a Greek, but we'll come to that. Joshua Redopa knew the cosmic laws, and he gave the example how to handle dark side tempters like Kinzolo. Can you remember what Kinzolo told Joshua Redopa? He took him where?
Wasn't it to...
Among other places, on the mount.
Yes.
And he showed him all the kingdoms, and he said, everything I'll give you if you fall down on your knees and pray to me as your God. And what did Joshua Redopa know? It has also been written, so, and then he gave the reason. 3 times in a row. So what did you learn from that? Know the true reality, and then you can face a tempter. If you don't know what the cosmic laws advise you to do, and a person comes, you know, why don't we do this or that? You must know. No, my friend, no. This is against the cosmic law. It's as easy as that. And the cosmic laws are not, you know, series of books or encyclopedias. I mean, really, you translated it, if I'm not mistaken. How many pages are there?
No, it's not long.
It's not long. It's a few pages. It's not even what you need to do in 1 hour of each working day.
Yes, I think it's 12. Yes.
Yeah, 12 or something like that. So it's not much you need to know. From there, it will expand. You will learn, but this is the most important stuff that you should need in order to picture. Yeah, and it's very important. You will see later on.
Ernst, will the voices be heard or be audible for the people near you as well?
No, Iliska, I have never heard voices which people next to me could hear. Never. I am very thankful For that, because I know that if you hear voices as if from another room or outside your body, you hear it here, you know, then what is it if you're just hearing voices?
Demonic entities.
My friend, then you need a psychiatrist or
Yeah.
you need me to come here so that I can remove the demonic entities that you hear. Not your house in which you hear it needs a good cleansing. Right, Eliska. And you know what? True life or true Lightside angelical beings, angelical, sorry for my bad pronunciation, beings practice true Lightside deity code of conduct. Oh, this is another problem. Oh my, can you imagine? You know what the problem is, eh? Let me ask you out there, the code of conduct of the deities of the light side, not the dark side. If you want to know what is dark side, make it absolutely the opposite of light side. This place is neat. If you go into a dark side place, it will be dirty and full of rubbish, you know, like who lives like that? Pigs. They live like that. They will never scare you in any way unless it is necessary, which is seldom. We come to the codes of conduct, so don't worry. When a guide, a god, goddess, Hefkenam, or higher up in the rank speaks with you, he will speak to you inside your mind. Why? Because it's personal in the first place. Why not? What else?
You're tapping in another dimension that other people
Yes.
cannot.
When a guide, you know, you should actually, well, let me ask you, do you remember the movie, the 1956 edition of the Ten Commandments, where Moses, what did he do? When he came from inside the mountain, Moses said, they actually, the people like Aaron and those people, they were there waiting for him. And it was Aaron telling Moses' wife, what was her name? The name means small bird. Whatever, I lost it. Do you remember it? But in any case, I'm old, so forgive me for remember so badly. This is why I write everything down. Now there are, when they ask him what it is, he actually asked Moses' wife, Zipporah. This is named Zipporah, meaning small bird. Thank you, the guides are working, so they're helping us.
They're
Thank you.
showing everybody.
Yes.
So it's like it should
Why did they help me now to recall the name? Because it's urgent.
Yes,
It's
it's
necessary
important.
for the people out there to listen to. Now, when Aaron speak to, let's say, Zipporah, he said, listen, there's Moses, but look how white he became, you know, grey. The hair and the beard became grey. And then they asked him questions, did you see the Lord? And he answered, yes. But he was so great, you know, something like that. And then they asked him, did he speak to you? Yes. What did his voice sound like? He spoke in my head. And Moses was so thrilled with this new way of communication because he never heard it before. He spoke to me in my head, and what he said makes sense. This is the true reality. There are several different methods to communicate two-way with the true light side deities and all their representatives in the unseen dimensions around us. So this is where the art of seeing while hearing is important. The art of what? Seeing and hearing. I actually must do the seeing with the Mageda irises without your eyelids being closed. In other words, you focus to look into other dimensions. You don't, to explain this, if I, space is a little bit of a problem here, but let's say she's there and I'm here. will you still hear the same voice? Of course you will hear the same voice, but now, does it matter if they speak to you from dimension 6,000 or 19,000 or so? No, you're still going to hear it. And sometimes you will hear warnings, answers on questions of which you need to picture what you hear. Sometimes they will lead you to see an accident or people doing something in which your answer lies. But if you are so, you look there and you see all the visible stuff and you don't focus. If I want to know who's between me and her, I watch here. In other words, this. Do you see that I look at you? No, you cannot see because I focus here. And this is what I do when I want to see in other dimensions, and I will see. So it takes time practicing, but it is worth it, So from the A to the B, the other day I asked my guide Isai, if there is words that I can, for instance, speak out that will make me truly invisible, this body. He said yes, and he gave me the words, and I said, is it something I have to practice? And he said, yes, you will have, it's a mind thing, you will have to practice it in your mind. In other words, when you see when you speak the word, you must actually see a mirror image of yourself and you take it away. There's nothing in the mirror. It needs practice, but it happens. The correct words and whatever. Right, but you will have to know the cosmic laws, contents, so that you can measure whatever you hear against the contents. Whatever you hear, you must measure against the contents of the cosmic laws.
If a beginner practice it daily, how will they develop?
Kabose, I'm glad you asked that question. Now I can share another ancient wisdom secret. When you are there, practice to stage everything you hear or read about. The chance is excellent that you will develop to become a seer. What is a seer? I am a seer, and I see and experience future happenings of people I know, what they individually look like. In other words, if you take a person and there's always, you can see what's going to happen. All I need is a selfie of the person as well as the correct date of birth, and there we go. I've helped people in 16 countries to know what is forthcoming for them, etc. People usually don't know the difference between a prophet and a seer. A seer sees forthcoming happenings in his mind, on the stage of his mind. Like you see forthcoming attractions in movies, on forthcoming movies. You know what I mean? When you focus on a person and you know the date, you actually repeat it, and the guides will look in the council plan of the Most High. This is how it works, and you will tell me in here what is going to happen with that person. How will I see it? I will see flashes of, oh, she's going towards a dark side. What does it mean? If I see there's no sun, there's no horizon, there's no sun coming up or going down, it's only a black back screen and this person is riding. What is it, logic? You're going towards destruction, my dear. What is wrong? Now you ask what is wrong. And now, once again, they show you the blackness. This person cannot see where it's going or where he or she is going. This is how you learn to see it. So you can become a seer if you want. A prophet sees nothing at all. A prophet is a consciousness-giving life form who represents high-ranking angelical beings, or Lama serves as a trance medium through which any messenger in the unseen realms can prophesy. Now this is only half the truth, which I just said is correct. But just remember always that there are true light side as well as true dark side prophets among us. The Christian Bible swarm of warnings as well as how to recognize these false prophets. And what does he say before you go on? Beware the false prophets who says, so speaketh the Lord, while it was not the Lord who spoke. You know what? These two ladies here, they asked me to compile a program on the true Joshua Redopa as Jesus, on the name you know him. And I started to compile and building in my mind what I know about him and what I see, the actions, and it's totally a different person than Jesus. You know, the church created Jesus. We went back to the original scripts. So if you see out there, there's a program coming about the real Jesus or Joshua Redopa, don't miss out on it. You are in for such a surprise that you are going to get mad. By the end of that day, you will be so enlightened around the true reality, and everything I'm going to tell you can go and watch in your Bible self. So please remember that.
On behalf of our friends out there, how do you identify the words of a false prophet, Ernst?
Nikita, if the prophet represent the true light side deity kingdoms, what he will speak will be 100% in line with the contents of the universal or cosmic laws of the Most High Torata Yahweh GORIA, and not in line with any other cosmic law. Now there are religions on earth who compiled their own sets of cosmic laws which have everything to do with money and nothing to do with spiritual light side deity kingdoms. You know, they will tell you, yeah, it's a cosmic law that you must work for money and you must spend as much time on. Do you want to spend a lifetime buying stuff that you can never take with you? Then you're a fool, my friend. Sorry. I don't buy rubbish that I don't need after death. Yes, if you want to give to somebody, you know, a house or get help in place if you've got small children, you should pass away all of a sudden, that is something else. But really, real false prophets does not know the full contents of the cosmic laws of the Most High Torata Yahweh GORIA. Therefore they will speak against it and hope you don't recognize it. Because they know Christians don't read Bibles on an average base. You know, they will read it once or twice a week or every night, 5. You know, my own grandmother on my father's side told me that she has written read the Bible 8 times during her lifetime. And when I asked her who's God, she couldn't even tell me. You know, so what did she do with a lifetime of knowledge that she read the Bible, you know, starting at Genesis, and now 12 years later she starts again, 10 years later. What did she learn? Nothing. She couldn't even explain to me what God looks like. When I said to her, what does God look like? I mean, I was a child at this stage, 7 years, 8 years, somewhere there. She said to me, you know, he's so big. He stands with 1 foot on this mountain and with the other feet on the other mountain. In other words, she couldn't even get the spiritual message from there. Because God looks like us. Same build, same everything, the Most High. But, so, do you know what I mean? What did she read to satisfy? Yeah, my friend, Brahma's Tower. So please go to our website, Brahma's Tower of Light, and download a copy of the most necessary cosmic laws. You will get it under the section More Info. Now, in true reality, when the true Lightside deity representatives tell you something, they give you the picture of what they are telling you in your mind. Practice to do that. Let's say I ask my guides if they think a specific person who went missing is still alive. You know, this is so easy actually, because I will ask, let's say you ask me something, you can use our way or the pendulum or what else, and you ask, like I ask on her behalf, the dog that is missing, do you still see him on your side, guides? And you, the Holy One, came back, no, she's not here with us, she's still there with you somewhere on earth. So the dog isn't dead. And this is exactly what happened. If I ask, is this person still with you, and I can imagine, I just look at a picture and I picture it in my mind so that they can see. They will go and they will say yes or no, but before that they will give me a picture. If the person is dead, it's like blackness. If the person is still alive, it will be the same as what I see. There's so many stuff, you know, and people just don't know what really is going on out there.
Okay, so what else is needed before we will be able to communicate two-way with the true Lightside representatives?
Ooh, Nikita, Liska, and Kabosi. The second necessity, we should learn to practice. It doesn't happen all by itself. You must learn to practice it. We should know the deity's codes of conduct. If you don't have it, see the section on Brahma's Tower of Light, More Info. You can download it from there. And
Ernst, can you
yes,
please explain in short what the deity's code of conduct is?
with pleasure, with pleasure. Do you know the deity hierarchical structure? The Most High Torata JAWE GORIA on top, while the ranks of kings are, as far as I know, lowest at the starting point of the true Lightside deity kingdoms, higher and up. Now, you know, if you don't know what the deity hierarchical structure looks like, I would advise you to start looking for it, because it's not available everywhere. It must be here. The Most High. How many universes are under him? How many Milky Ways, for instance, are in one universe? How many thousand star systems are in one universe? You must take that into consideration when you start compiling a hierarchical structure. You know, just to convince yourself that a Messiah is not even a king. I mean, a true prophet is a Messiah. A trance medium is a prophet, or a prophet is a trance medium, as I said, through which, now if you are dark side, you know what happened in some churches. You know, people will start getting mad and fall backwards, and, you know, slime will gather at the corners of their mouths, and the eyes will stare in the void at nothing. What happened there, what I just described?
Satan. Yes, he touched them and then they fell back.
Yes, demonic possessed.
Yes.
After, you can ask the church Christians, after they have fallen over backwards, their wives will tell you, my husband is not the same, you know, now.
Yes.
He became Satan himself or something. This is why they come to me. Pastors, doomies, they come here, their wives come with me. And when I ask them, when did it happen? When was the major change? Now, when we were in that and that church, and the pastor touched it at the forehead, and then he flipped backwards, and yeah, what can you expect?
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Bible states also that if God or his angels or whoever is will be there, touches you, you will go forward and you will kneel.
Of course, if the Most High or some of his representatives touch you, you know, you will fall, not fall, you will get down on your knees, your head down, because the light will be too strong to look in. So if you go backwards, go and check the book, I Am Lucifer, he's the king of the church, and then you can read what he explained to you. You know, if you go to a church, I have no problem as long as the church is, or the church will take you on a way very far away from true reality. I will even, as Satan, give you miracles to happen in your churches. Go and read that book, you will be stunned. But let's discuss what you as a stranger need to know before you will be allowed to visit Buckingham Palace. I'm taking that Buckingham Palace as an example. Now, if you come there, let me start the discussion. If you want to go to Buckingham Palace, in the first place you need to speak what? English. Or a language that the Queen or King can understand you in. Now, what is the language of the Most High and all the angelical beings on the light side?
Tavala.
Tavala. Do you know anything about that language? We don't know much, but we know enough to do a good Tavala prayer if we have to. What else? How do they dress?
Neatly, and not everything is closed and neat. Not
You know, to make it easier for you, there's a specific, before I come to this one, you can go and read books on Buckingham Palace or the Queen Mother or whatever. You will see that the code of conduct in a palace is not what you experience outside. You cannot somehow go there and say, I want to see the Queen, please, or the King. You will not even get to the gate. Because what we want to see him for, look what you look like. What do you know what he knows that he can, you know something? No, my friend, you're still down there, you must go to so-and-so to help you. There's a specific movie also I would like to recommend that you study it very intense. You don't watch that movie, you study it intense without interruptions of any kind. You know, if somebody wants to make me mad of rage, while I'm in tapping, come and bother me with. You know, firstly, I cannot get out of in tapping that easily to just say, okay, now let's go. It takes time, you know, and if somebody comes and interrupt you, it's like, you know, you don't want it. Now, yeah, there is that specific movie, and what's its name? Doctor Strange. There's a few follow-ups, but go to the original one, Doctor Strange, not the follow-ups. You know, people usually, if I can compare it, people usually come to me and then they will tell me, listen, what is the meaning of revelations in your Bible where they speak of the 7 horses? You know, usually I will ask the person, before I answer you on the last book of the Bible, just declare to me what you know of the first verse of the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. What do you know of God? If you cannot answer me, why do you want to know what the Bible ends with if you don't even know what the God is that you are reading about? Nothing a Trinity God can say will fit in the Bible in the first place. It will only fit if you are mind controlled, not if you are in reality. So always remember that, and you cannot go in there and talk whenever you want to talk or with whoever you need to, you know, in a normal castle, in a kingdom of, let's say, Buckingham Palace on earth. I mean, everything is military strict in perfection. Now, if you not, no, I live in my house, this come I look all the same. Are you going to be allowed? No, my friend, then you're like a savage or a scavenger or something wanting to enter the house. What do you want to do here? Go and wash and prepare and get yourself ready before you enter here. People on earth think, you know, when they die, Jesus, with all respect, or somebody will take them where they not belong. It doesn't work that way. The higher the radiation vibration of the different light side dimension and planets you are entering to see, the most light radiates from the consciousness giving life forms that you will meet there. Therefore, they don't want weak shining consciousness giving life forms among them in the higher dimensions, which will weaken their own glorification and or spread negativity on their planets. They are true light side deity kingdom leaders, therefore they approve of excellent leadership characteristics in consciousness giving life forms like human visas or human souls. Own kind will always attract own kind. If you are, I am a philosopher and an esoteric healer in a specific way. All other spiritual philosophers or whatever, spiritual healers, of course they will interest me because I would like to see what they are doing, to learn from them if there's something to learn. If I identify something they need, I can give it to them or advise them what to do to overcome. But you know, it is a cosmic law throughout all the universes and all dimensions. Yeah, it's another story if you want to go to let's say your Christian God. I mean, see what happens after you died, and maybe in the next life you will be more open for true reality that you are now. Let your own vibration or radiation vibration shine like those of the gods if you want to be attracted towards them. You know, it's the same. You are now a managing director of, let's say, one big corporate, which has branches all over the world. And now all of a sudden I come to you and I say, can I be part of this? In the first sense, what do you know of, let's say, financial business? No, not much. You'll not get the job. If you want to go there, they are going to ask you, what do you know of the kingdoms? You know, it's just as well as you get a job in China. Are you going to be successful if you cannot speak Chinese or something? If you are not acquainted to their methods of living, the way they eat, what they eat, etc., etc., will you be comfortable there?
No.
That is not even important to them who are there. It's important to them that you will not be there because you cannot fit in what they do. The culture is different, everything. The church culture and reality, light side, deity culture differs 100%. What makes you as a consciousness giving life form shine? The wisdom and the knowledge of the kingdoms of heavens, light side heavens. The more you see and experience the true light side kingdoms, the more attractive it becomes. When I was in my late 20s, early 30s, I sang on administrators' year-end functions as well as in churches. One of my favorite songs to sing was Panis Angelicus, which is a song written in Latin. The English Panis Angelicus means bread for the angels, or bread of the angels. Now, during one of our weekly two-way communications with our guides, I asked one of the guides what the bread for angels was. Was it real bread or what? That I know what it was, but I wanted to make sure. The guide advised me to go and spiritually meditate on it. Not meditate on it, spiritually, as in course 1 of the Brahma's writings. I did so, And then I got the answer. I was kind of overwhelmed. You know, the bread of the angels is deity wisdom, light side as well as dark side, and what? The love of the Most High. And now you get, what is that thing? Geloof, believe, whatever, but the bigger one of those three are the love. And what is the love? That thing that connects you with the Most High, like a what?
Umbilical cord.
Yes, thank you, my dear. You've answered well. Now, yeah, let us go on. Where do you read about the love of the Most High? For instance, if you want one, St. Paul, Corinthians, the letter to the Corinthians, chapter 13. There you can go and read. It's not very well translated, but if your Bible is correctly translated, it will says actually, you will be able when you read it to see that there are three: love, hope, and belief, what you actually believe in. But the greater of this three is the love. If it says something like that, it's good. It's not love that he speaks to, the love. You know, even in other languages, they say, the love does not do this, the love doesn't do that, the love of the Lord doesn't do that. So it goes on. So please go and check it up. Now, on the screen is the appropriate verses as written in the 17th century King James Bible. And we are going to read Jeremiah 31 as from verse 31 to 34. Nikita, would you please be so kind to read the three verses for me, please?
So verse 31, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel, which is Israel, and with the house of Judah.
Specifically. Yes.
Verse 32, Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the days that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them.
Okay, before you go on, what do you know about that husband story? Were Israel the husband of the Most High? Of course he was. He created them, then he divorced the tribe of Israel due to what? Before they keep on carrying on serving dark side gods, satanic seed lines. They just want to mingle with anything that is dark side. That is why he divorced them, and later on he called them something in the Afrikaans Bible, something like Elam or something, meaning divorced but remarried again. So, yes.
Verse 33, But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel.
With the house of Israel. Not any other house, the house of Israel. After those days, right?
After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and I will be their God, and they will be my people.
Now, yeah, this is so beautiful, you know. I will put my law in their inward parts. It is something inside you. You cannot go against it. It's been written in your DNA and genes. You cannot be otherwise. Let's discuss these three verses. Who is the Lord of which is written here? The Most High, who divorced his wife Israel later to get remarried to her when she did what? When she turned around her ugly ways of doing things and came back to the cosmic laws and the Most High itself. Who is the house of Israel? The house of Israel is none other than who? The 12 tribes of Israel, namely Dan, Naphtali, Judah, Simeon, Issachar, and the rest of the 12 tribes of Israel. who are where? In the scattering among all the nations at this stage. What do you understand by the words, I will put my laws in their inward parts? He knew his chosen people, his tribe, the tribe of Israel. Now, you know, if you go back to, a lot of people see the other nations as Israel. It is not. My surname is Jordan. It should have been Jordan, the French name, meaning from Dan. And who's Dan? The river flowing in France. And who stayed there? The Danites. In other words, the tribe of Dan stayed, or they lived there. That is why we who represent the true Lightside kingdoms of the Most High cannot transgress against the laws of the Most High, Torata, JAWE, GORIA. It makes you feel sick even if you think of it. We don't have to know the cosmic laws by heart. We feel if something that is presented to us is from the Satan himself, or this is from the light side. We don't have to know all the cosmic laws. We feel when something is wrong. These cosmic laws is written in all the DNA and genes of us as consciousness-giving life forms, serving who? The Most High. If you are a true member of the true house of Israel, you, like us, will automatically know if something represented to you is against the cosmic laws of the Most High or not. If you are a true light side representative, you should first start to break satanic mind control spells on with the words we've given you already in 2 or previous programs. If you haven't watched those programs, it is advisable to go back, start from program A, then B, then C, then D. Not A and E and I and J and K. It's not going to work that way. Trust me, do it the correct way as I did it, and you will see what you get to. Do you still remember those words with which you break Satana's rule? Kobus.
Motsa ilonsat vast pala Torata JAWE GORIA.
Hargto zolame satanigota. Bellat. So if you don't have it, just go back. I'm going to send it. Motsa elonsat vast pala Torata JAWE GORIA. Means in the name and the most, or the all-powerful name of the Most High, his Ram Torata Re, meaning Most High, Yahweh, his name, praise his name, GORIA, his surname. So in other words, Motsa Elon Sat Fast Palo Torata JAWE GORIA. Hargto or Hargto is Hargto, second word, Zolame, third word, Satan, Satan, fourth word, Igota, Igota, and then Pelat, Pelat. It Hargto Solame Satanigota. I break in the name of the Most High Torata JAWE GORIA. I break the spell of Satan now. That Pelat means it will be as from now. So if you say that towards somebody who is possessed with evil or whatever, that evil will most definitely depart. Secondly, know the deity's code of conduct and live by it. Go through the list of known cosmic laws and remember this so that you can apply it in your life. Now, in the previous programs I mentioned that you can get the emergency spiritual kit on our website. Please go there, you will get it from there. Then study book 1 and course 1 in the Baramis writings on your website. You can get it for free, it's up for grabs. Just write to me and I'll give it to you. After you read the book and course, decide where you want to be. Do you want to be a Christian serving the church, dark side, or do you want to be in service of a true light side, Torata, JAWE, GORIA, who is the Most High of all gods? Practice to hear and measure whatever you hear against the contents of the cosmic laws.
It is if I can hear some people out there complaining that this sounds like hard work and studying, which they don't have time for.
Think of eternal life. You are on earth as a school of learning to prepare for your next spiritual journey after this life. Is this chance you get to learn to serve a real Torata, JAWE, GORIA too high to come by? This is not work, but training for the afterlife. My advice to you is to learn to organize your time of each day so that most of your time can be spent on what is really important for you in the eternity of time. If the Most High is the most important life form in your life, like it is in my life, you will reschedule your daily time. We did it and it works for us.
Ernst, why is it necessary to be sure you do everything necessary before you start to try and communicate two ways with your guides?
Nikita, if you want to prepare a master chef dessert, you need to stick to the recipe. Although a master chef recipe may cover 27 pages. This is why I am so strict. You know, don't buy book 20, then book 1, then book 17. You are not going to, you are going to read 2 verses and put it down. You're not going to understand. This is an educational program. You start book 1, course 1, when you can practice the course anywhere you like. You don't, and you know the contents of book 1, then you are ready to go to book 2. And then it doesn't help you read it. You must know it and you must be able to practice it. Then it's going to work for you. And you know, otherwise you are going to be unsuccessful. That I can promise you. A valid personal relationship with the true Lightside All Creator Hefkenam, or with the Most High Torata, JAWE, GORIA, in our case, function like a master chef recipe. If you can do this, the next thing you can do is that. The next thing will be this. If you start there, you're not even going to know what is here. So don't see, let us see the contents of the list and what we are interested. Maybe you're on the wrong track if you do stuff like that. Rather leave it then for persons who want to know the truth. The second fact, if you go to school, you're not going to university, master's degree, and then you start at grade 1 in school. Now, why do you want to do it with something so special for the afterlife? Yeah. I mean, you cannot go to grade 2 if you didn't master what's needed from you to pass grade 1. If you are in grade 12 and you have a under average, let's say, percentage after the examination of 20%, you cannot go in to a varsity to train there. The IQ is too low, my friend. Whatever you written here in matric, like I did in standard 9, I went and I did exactly what I'm asking the people not to do. So I didn't pass standard 9. I had to do it over again. And then matric. And then I start realizing, you know what, I'm not going to get anywhere. I should start learning. Mm-hmm. And matric here, I've learned a little bit and I passed flying colors to go to a university. But if that thought didn't pass my mind, I would just have said, so what? I've sit another year in grade 11, whatever, standard 9. Doesn't work that way. The second fact to keep in mind is that in the beginning, it will take time and effort. Most Christians are used to order their gods what to do and what not to do or to let happen. Now to change to a true deity system, how to practice the true religion the correct way.
Who are you channeling when everything needed for Lightside channeling is not in place?
Exactly, Kabos. I know a lot of people who channel by using a Ouija board or a pendulum as instrument. Really? Is that if, or reality is that if you and your surrounding are not sacred space, the chance is 99% that you are contacting an earthbound human soul or a demon pretending to be a true light side representative. You know, you must stick to the rules. Please remember. You know, there's a pendulum. Can you give me that blue pendulum and that small little thing? I just want to show the guys. Yeah, anyway.
This one.
Yep. Thank you so much. You know, we are going to come there, but this is our pendulum. Let your brain just see it. And this is a few cards with which I work with a pendulum, but we'll come to that one. You know, the true light side kingdoms are not accessible for human souls as consciousness giving life forms if they don't live as if they are true light side representatives. Also, not for the nosy or curious human souls. A lot of people would like to see before they take. You know, it's kind of, let me do it on APRA and I'll see if I like it. Bye-bye, Louis. There you go. You've got the wrong attitude. And, you know, a lot of people will say, you know, F you. I'm not going to read this rubbish you wrote. It's your sake, my friend. It's not my. We know it already. We know we are going to. You not. So you don't do it for anybody else than you. So if the light is not inside you to be honored, even to feel you get a chance to know better, then you don't belong to the light side. Bye bye, Louis. There you go. Easy as that. Yes, Aliska.
Could this be the true reason why people going for Reiki treatment here in South Africa seldom go back for second treatment? Why?
Oh, my friend. Ilaska, you know, in South Africa, and I say it with all due respect, let me start with the following reality. You cannot become what you need to, or what you want to become, if what you want to become is not what you need to become according to the council plan. So in South Africa, I met a lot of so-called Reiki masters who complain. They come to my office and they say, I don't know if somebody bewitched me or what, but I'm a Reiki master. It cost me thousands of rands here in South Africa. No, nobody comes for treatment. They come, but they never come back. You know why? Because no, with all due respect, you can believe what you want. I know the truth. A human cannot unfold or open somebody's mind to understand or to do something. To be a Reiki master, you need to be opened by another Reiki master. If that Reiki master was not choose to be a Reiki master, he's wasting his time. He cannot open you. If the Most High opens you, it's right. Now, they spend, let's say, 8,000 or 10,000 or more rand to become a Reiki master. Now they've got their practice, they want this, you invested, you want your money back. I mean, I've spent millions on education, so why will I not? I want the results, I want this to see. And they are in the same boat. So how are they going to get over that? You know, it's in Pretoria. We are in Bloemfontein. In Pretoria lives one of our members of Paramus Tower of Light. Her name is Zansun, Z-A-N-S-U-N. this is a spiritual name. Her bodily name is what? Alta Kutsia. She's from Pretoria, and you know why I can recommend her. One day she was chatting here with me, and as usually happens, you know, you can transform in front of me so that I can see who's inside you if I need to know. And I watched this Alta Kutsia, I like this woman, you know, she's a very good friend of mine. And she is very well spiritually educated as well. You know, she's on a very high level at this stage. But nevertheless, when I looked at her, she's in any case also a trance medium, and through her I could see a lot of people visiting me, you know, like angelical beings and guides and whatever. But when I saw this specific life form inside her, you know, her whole complex changed. The one moment she was Alta Kutsia, and the next moment she was a Chinese kind of young girl, not older than, let's say, 22, but the facial looks are younger even.
Yeah.
So I thought, this is Lightside and this is Chinese, and there's a hell of a light radiating from it, but who is it? And I went to our guys and I asked who was in Alta Kutsia the other night, and they told me it's Zola Mekala. She is the queen of Reiki, a goddess of Reiki. So if you want to get contact with this woman Zansun, you can contact us, or you can write to me and I'll give you an address. But since that day, I know, and the guys explained to me what I explained to you, you know, you cannot be opened by anyone else except by the Most High. You can imagine you are a Reiki master, I can promise it's not going to work. If he doesn't open you and give you the power to do that, you know, and with all due respect, another Reiki woman visited me one day, and she said also, I didn't know she was a Reiki expert, but she said to me, no persons want to come to her consultation room. And I said, let's go and see. Maybe, you know, you always get a demon showing people away or whatever. Let's go and see. But when we entered her house, when we entered the gate already, the yard was in a mess. You know, you can see no hands was there for months on end. The house radiation was, I would not even bother to stay there if I didn't have a house. I will not buy a house like that. When I entered, the whole house was kind of dark inside. She only uses the lamps or the electricity in the room she works, which is fine, but I mean, why must your house feel like a satanic castle when you enter there? I mean, everything stood upright, hair, goosebumps, everything. And I went from room to room and I felt, Jesus, but there's more demons in this place than, you know, the previous place that we went to, and there were legions of them. But not legions, but hundreds of them. But in any case, as soon as I came to a bedside, there's a small bucket in which she threw all her papers and rubbish. And what did I count in there? 23 grandpa, headache powder, little papers, and lots of empty psychiatrical, you know. So I told her, how many grandpas do you take a day? As many as I need. The crux of it all is you cannot heal another person if you are sick as hell. You cannot. This is what they should have learned the first time. They didn't learn it. Now they want to sit there. You know what I saw? I said to her, you know, you've got oppression demons in you. Yeah, I know, I want to commit suicide. She didn't even argue. I said, I see a Rulema demon in you. You've got more than one personality. Yeah, I was that since birth. Now why are you a Reiki consultant? Who do you think? I mean, Reiki, if you know how it works, the energy must flow through you, your body, into the patient. Now, if you are depressed and you're on psychiatric medicine and everything, what are you going to put in that person? Evil. So why do you? No, that's why, with all due respect, I don't. If I've got a Reiki problem, I will go to Alta Kusia or that Zanun and to no other person. She did Reiki on me once, and it was, you cannot even imagine that it can be possible to feel that way. So yes, write to me if you want to know a real Reiki master in which the goddess of Reiki, Zola Mekala, lives in. Right.
Okay, so Ernst, which two-way communication instruments are the easiest to start practicing with?
Let us discuss and explain the working of the following instruments you used during two-way communication between seen and unseen life forms. If you're surrounding and you are sacred space, it means actually it's a question if you're surrounding and you are sacred space. I just explained why. And you out there, you can take me on that one. I can promise you, I know what I know, and I know how things work. I cannot do higher dimension healing on persons if I am not 100% clear of any demonic or attached demons or attached negative energies. Never. I will not do it. That is why my practice is full every day. People trust me. They come here because they know what my intentions are and what my attitude is. If it's not 100% light side, no ways. I'm a number 7 person. Things should be either right or wrong. No shades of grey. So you either are a Reiki master or an esoteric healer, or you are not. And what am I going to decide it on? What do I see in your eyes? Who's giving consciousness to this body? 1 or 10 or 300 persons? No. So the first instrument that if you and your surrounding is now sacred space, you did a ritual, all the stuff that we gave you to do in that little emergency kit, now you can use a pendulum. A pendulum is this thing. I've got hundreds of them, and this pendulum will not work for all people. Doesn't even know that. You cannot go with, let's say, a specific metal pendulum to go and look for water. Not with a pendulum. You cannot heal somebody 100% maximum energy if you use the wrong pendulum. There are quite a lot, but this is a pendulum, and this is some cards. I've got hundreds of them, but this is now the one card. You can put it there, and you must decide, you and your guide. You can ask him, please, let's make it a 10-4. If it swings 10-4 on this face, it will be a yes. If it swings, let's say 2-8, it will be a no. You work out your own code with your guide. And my guide even have a signature. So if I take this on and I said, let's say, one of my guides, and it doesn't give me a signature. Bye-bye, Louis, off you go. You're not my guide. I know my guide, and you will not, if I say, give you a signature. And the signature is, let's say, 2 right, 2 left, 1 so, 1 so, 3 of this. And he cannot do that. He's not my guide. Bye-bye, there you go. So this is the pendulum. You can ask appropriate questions, not what you wish to know. What you are, how can I put it? Entitled to know. Thanks, Iliska. On this one, it will give you, it's a map of all the organs of the human body, etc. So, you can actually ask the person in front of me on what is it going to die of. If you are fully right to ask it, it will show you in a direction of what is wrong with that person, where to give, if you're not going to die of an illness, a car will overrun you, or somebody will shoot you or kill you, a murderer or what, That is something else. They will not tell you that. What you need to know, they will tell you. And you can compile a lot of other cards as well if you are ready. There are a lot of courses also on pendulum reading. We've got one in, I think it's course 5 or 6.
Channeling.
Yes,
Channeling,
six.
yes. If you're interested, you can get a hold of that little course, channeling. It will help you a lot. Astral projection without the Vorozela. Set of cosmic rules. I will not recommend you to just pop out of your body. You know, it could be very nice. But if you are not closed up and covered in white light and shielded, while you are out, somebody else can get in. And when you come back to your body, everybody else is going to see, you know what, this guy is not himself anymore. So either you went into a reflecting mirror or a surface that's reflecting or a portal, or if you don't know what to expect, don't do it until you really learn to know. There are a few guidelines, the cosmic laws of Vorozela, if you want it. Will you remind me to change that one also into English, as well as something else that I would like to ask you. Right, if you use all the necessities that you have to, then you can try the astral projection. At first you will maybe, and try to go out either your heart or upwards. Don't go out lower, you are going to enter a negative dimension. But if you can do that, of course, it will be I recommend it that you learn to do it the proper way, because it's the only proof that you will ever have for yourself. Remember, God don't have to prove to us anything. We are here to discover Him, not Him for us. We are here. It's like a parent, you know, we all live on a farm, and now I must go to, let's say, Pretoria to university or something there. Now, what's going to happen? I'm there and they are here, you know, with whoever I talk about. So, you must learn. I think if I say the cosmic laws, know how to tap in, how to astral project, then you can definitely find yourself, if you do it correct, in the light side, first or second or fourth sub-dimension of dimension 4. In which you will see other life forms like yourself, and you will see, oh, I thought if the body is dead, I'm dead now. What is this now if the body lies there? This is the only proof you have, and then you can start going further away from your house or the place that you've made sacred space. In tapping, what does it mean?
We've discussed that.
Yes, we have discussed
I've
that.
spoken such a lot.
Yeah.
Kabos, tell them what is in tapping. How
We've
do you
done the
tap?
whole course now with that.
No, but not in tapping. How do you tap in?
It's the same way. It's the same principle. You get calm, relaxed, and you will get the messages. They're only going to give you answers on questions that you deserve to get.
Yes, according to what you have learned.
And what's your duty that you've got, your path. They won't give you something that you don't need.
Yes, and what can you add?
It's just another level of, like the pendulum, you can ask just yes or no. But if you tap in, you can ask any question and that you rightfully deserve, and in your way that you need to know, and you will get the answer you are looking for.
Yes, Nikita, how do I, except from becoming calm, how can you explain to them scientifically why in-tapping works?
Scientifically.
Okay, I'll help you.
If you lower your vibration
Thanks,
to,
there you are. I know
to
you
where
know
you
it
need
all,
to,
but
to where you need to go
maybe
to
I
start
just
to do
talked
the
too long
in-tapping.
and, you know, But in any case, yes, this is how it works. If you know that you're vibrating, let's say you must first know what are you. Are you a human soul as a visa, angelical soul as a vision? Are you a Davros, a holy man, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama? Are you a god, a goddess, a whatever, a part? So there's millions of stuff that you could be. But if you are sure you are a human or an angelical being, Lightside, not talking about others, you know if you're a human, you vibrate average 50 hertz, whatever.
Frequency.
Yes, frequency. Thank you. They just showed me once again something else, sorry. But in any case, then you must sit or lie down. I usually sit or lie down. I can work, but in the beginning, lie down. I'm used to it, you not. So lie down or sit, you know, in a half lying down position with something here, so that you can relax. You know, if you relax, you're dead. Your head must, you must really be like in dead. And then you focus on your heartbeat, loop, doop, loop, doop, loop, doop, and you're going for slower. Why do you want to go slower? Your heart rate tells you what your body vibration will be. So you want to get it as low as you can. By the time you cannot feel your heart, and if you feel it, it's like bloop, 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 bloop. Then you're ready. Then you vibrate so high. You that give consciousness to that body, that without eyes open or closed, you start hearing and seeing things. This is the scientific way of in-tapping. Now, when we usually tap in, I mean, when I come here in the morning to do my work for the Most High, I light my candles, I'm praising Him for everything He did to me and for the opportunities, and I ask His guidance through my guides to show me and to help me. And like I explained to Kobus yesterday, it was such a new experience. There was a guide. I cannot tell you who that guide is. I know it's a woman and it's like a lecturer, you know, a high-brass professor somewhere. But she is so cool, if I may use that term. You know, I can sit here and now start typing. Okay, this is the heading. Let's say in tapping. Now I just close my eyes and I ask, anything special you would like me to write on? And then silence until you hear and see something. And when you start, it takes a little bit to start, but let's say 10 seconds. But after this, as soon as you hear and feel, oh, somebody is now with me on my left-hand side, for instance now, and it's definitely a lady person, or a male person, and then you will, the voice. If you hear it in your mind like, El Tizator, you know it's this guy is very strict and maybe it is something wrong, you know, but usually they will not be like that. They will say El Tizator, and they will show you some things to write. Of course, yeah, and then you start. This is the way in tapping work. What about the Ouija board? I'm not going to show you a Ouija board. You know it there. Our Ouija board went through all the necessities that a Ouija board should go through. Shielded by the Most High Himself. Shielded by the Davros. You all... You know, it's so covered in holy oil, proper holy oil, that we do this, you know, everything is sacred space, then we can unfold it. You never leave it open in a strange place. Put on some more, and then you can, if you know the rules of Vorosela, also applicable to Ouija board, because everything must be sacred space. You must be sacred space. No added or connected demonic entities or negative thoughts or whatever. then you do it. So this is how you can start learning. One of those 4 will work for you. I'll advise you to start with a pendulum, after that astral, after that in tapping maybe, then astral projection, and then Ouija board. If you ask your guide out there, he's looking at you like Cobus is sitting here, and I ask him, will it be okay with the Most High if I use a Ouija board? If it is, like it was in our case, he will say yes, but you must go to Johannesburg, to the House of Isis, as an example. We will show you what to buy. And even in that house, we put it out there. That house was, although the shop was very sacred space, so we could sit there and put it out and ask him which one. And through the trance medium, he pointed at one. And the same with this pendulum. I asked him, which pendulum do you like as an instrument? Because between me and you, that was towards Isaiah. And he said to me, take any one and use a code 10, 4 for yes and 4 no, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So I asked, there was about 250 pendulums, but I start asking in the top row, no. Second row, no. Last row, no. Or let's say the 20th row, yes. Okay, now is it among the first 5? No. Among the second 5, yes. Is it the first one of that? So you go on until you get to the real answer.
Yeah.
Then you will ask him, okay, if it's this one, will you activate it for me? And I can promise you, if you sit there and start asking, it will start moving on its own. It will give you, if it gives you answers that is negative, then you know, miss, you were not clean when you started. So it is the same as we said to the Christians. Don't be the God of your own life, and when you hit tragedy, come and complain with me. It was your choice to be, to be on your own. My choice was to be led by the Most High. I don't have problems. Do you have problems that we cannot handle? Of course we have problems, but we ask, and the next we knew it's gone. So because we didn't choose the way, and if it's a problem that we must learn from, they will tell us. I'm not going to take that demon out of your body before you are ready to see what influence does that thing have in your life. You cannot Ouija, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. And now you must correct it, and then it will work again. You know what I mean? So
in the next program, which is program S, we will share ancient wisdom secrets on demonology. Learn to identify most general demons, life forms inside others and outside the human bodies, as well as those demonic living forms, life forms who are active in your house or business, how to identify and destroy them.
Please don't miss out on it, and please remember to press the like, share and subscribe buttons, as well as the little bell icon to be in line for more ancient wisdom secrets.
And until next time, love and light from all of us. Bye.